the official time to start. So I'd like to welcome everybody to this session, and I'm getting to see a few familiar faces, which is terrific. My name's Jenny Rosevere, and I'm one of the conference organising committee, and it's my very great pleasure to welcome you all here, as well as to introduce Lyn Richardson, who is from Wesley College at Glen Waverley in Melbourne, and who's going to talk to us about breathing life into our singing. And a little bit of a heads up, I had a quick chat with Lyn yesterday, and I know there's going to be some movement later on in the session. And I can say that I'm looking forward to that because I've been spending an awful lot of time sitting down of late, but that'll be a bit later on. So welcome everyone, and over to you, Lyn. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jenny, and thank you all so very much for coming on board. So I invite you to please have a drink ready. You can see I've got my glass of water with a little piece of orange peel in it. And also it would be great if you had some sort of clear space that you'll be able to stand up and move openly in a little bit later. So the idea of the structure of this hour is that I will explain to you the idea of breathing life into your singing and how I have formulated Qi Gong exercises and incorporated them into choir rehearsals to aid the whole idea of breathing and singing. And then we'll stand up and we'll do some. So I hope that will take you into lunchtime and you'll be able to breathe through your lunch and through the afternoon much more easily. So let's start. So I'm going to start. The first half basically will be following the PowerPoint presentation. And then once we get into the exercises, I'll stop sharing the screen so that you can see the much more fuller sort of view, and you'll see how to do the exercises a little bit more easily. So now I'll share my screen and we'll get into it. Here we go. So, breathe life into your singing. I want to start though with a provocation. Here's the provocation. Does music nourish life? That was my provocation when I saw the conference theme. And so what I did is I started to unpack the words. Music. What is music? Well, it's sound. It's caused by vibration, which is caused, the vibrations are caused by energy. Okay, that's very basic. What about nourish? What is nourish? Then I thought, well, nourishment is food. So to nourish is to feed. And that leads to being healthy. And in that word health, we have the word heal. So we nourish to feed and actually to heal ourselves. Then, of course, I got to life. When you unpack life and you take it to its basic element, it is breath. So putting those three things together, we have energy feeding breath. Breath feeding energy. That's what it's all about. And of course, we can extrapolate that into our musical life as well, with the way that we perform, the way we sing, the way we play wind instruments, as well as string instruments, whatever instruments. We still need to breathe, because if we're not breathing, we are not alive. And I wonder if you're aware that on average, the average human being actually takes about 20,000 breaths a day. That's a lot of breathing. But how efficient are those breaths that we take? That's a really big claim. How efficient is your breathing? And with this Qigong practice, I think I have found a really effective way to work my body efficiently with effortless ease when it comes to singing and performing. So let's move on. But how does Qigong fit into this? Qi is the Chinese word for energy. Gong is the Chinese word for work. So we put this together and we get that Qigong is the practice of working energy into and circulating it through your body. In a nutshell, it is meditative movement. It is repetitive, flowing moves using breath as the basis. I wonder if you're seeing and feeling and hearing the connections here with your music making. What is Qigong, you may ask? Qigong is an ancient traditional Chinese medicine that has been practiced for 4,000 years. It was developed 4,000 years ago by Taoist sages, and it offers benefits for physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. There is a lot of imagery used in terms of nature and how our bodies can work in harmony with nature. Water is used a lot because of the flow, the natural flow that you feel with water. And we are asked in our Qigong sessions to imagine our body just flowing easily like water. Qigong is a life force energy that focuses on letting go of stress, cultivating joy, and boosting physical vitality and health. Those important words again. Be thinking all the time, how, for you personally, how is that going to work with my musical life, with me being a musician? How does that connect to me? Please be thinking about that in your mind. So now I came to Qigong and I would like to pay homage to the practitioner to whom I have subscribed now. And I'll tell you a bit more about my personal journey a little bit later on. But the Qigong that I now practice is run by Holden Qigong in the States. He's based in the state of California. And his basic premise, as is the way for traditional Chinese medicine, is that the lungs are the commanders of life force energy. So where you see life force energy, read Qi. Lungs. What do our lungs do? They take in the breath. They are the reservoirs of our breath, the reservoirs of our life. So the lungs are the parts of our body where the energy first pours in. And in Qigong, it is said that your lung capacity is directly related to your longevity. So I'd like to change that and say that your lung capacity is directly related to longevity. So I think that's really going to help me with my music performance and breathing through it. Using my breath efficiently. That's what it comes back to. So this practice allows you to nourish your energy through breathing. James Nestor is an interesting science and sports journalist in the States who has had quite a lot to do with Holden, the practitioner I subscribe to. James Nestor has an interest in breath, and he put out a book last year, 2020, simply called Breath. What got me, though, was his subtitle for this book. He called it The New Science of a Lost Art. So through his research, he's found that people these days are just not breathing efficiently. We've lost the art of breathing. And he found that it's largely due to a lot of the processed foods we eat, and people are actually just breathing through their mouth much more. Now you might say, okay, to sing, yes, we need to breathe through our mouth. But the way to increase our lung capacity and so on is to really learn how to breathe through our nose. And that's going to help a whole lot of other aspects of our life and our health. He was involved in a session with Lee Holden where one comment I heard him make, this is James Nestor who wrote the book Breath, one comment really resonated strongly with me, and that was moving to breathe helps the mechanics of breathing work. And you'll see this in some of the exercises that we do when we stand up shortly and get going. Moving to breathe helps the mechanics of breathing work. Very important for a singer and very important for young kids to learn in their to start their journey of singing so that they know how to sing efficiently, healthily. So there are many benefits of practicing Qi Gong. So I've just shared with you 4 benefits that Lee Holden, this is a picture of Lee doing some spinal breathing, and you can see that he's sitting down to do it. So you can sit, you can stand to do Qi Gong. I think standing is probably the easiest way to do it because it helps to strengthen your legs as well. But there are many benefits. I'll let you have a little read through those benefits now. So the one on this page that really resonates is expanding your lungs to allow fresh air to enter your body. On the next one, the one here is to feel the Qi, the energy buzzing through your body. And we'll get to that stage where we're doing that. But while we're here on the benefits, just let me tell you a little story. I run a number of choirs at school, and the accompanist of one of the choirs said a really interesting statement to me. We have continued to run online rehearsals during remote learning, and the rehearsals are at the end of the school day. So they're on a Wednesday, hump day. So the kids have had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with, online sessions, right, left and centre, all of this work that they have to do. Come 3:30, it's choir time. So it's been remarkable, the number of kids who have actually joined in with the online choir rehearsals, because it's a very different scenario from all being together in our rehearsal room. But they've all joined in really well. And I think it's because we've incorporated the idea of Qi Gong, so they're not just singing for 45 minutes, but they have a really good sense of well-being that we do in transferring from their day through to being in the moment with their singing, releasing a whole lot of stuff that's happened during the day, and then allowing their body to open into singing with much clearer airways. The accompanist said to me, and he said this not just in the online learning, but when we have been at school this year, I just look forward so much to getting to choir, no matter how stressful a day's been. And you know what it can be like, and days are pretty intensive as music teachers. You don't get that many breaks. He said, I just love attending. No matter how busy I am, I will attend because it just makes me feel so much better. It improves my whole sense of being. I feel re-energized. So that's our accompanist. There are some high-level thoughts that I want to share with you before I get into my own personal journey. Qigong influences energy in a positive direction. Positive. We've heard a lot this morning already about motivational work. Here is something positive and enjoyable to do that actually has a lot of benefits, a lot of health benefits as well. You're not feeling so good? Perhaps your energy is out of tune. Tune up your organs by using the healing sounds to create harmony in the symphony of who you are. Qi Gong uses a lot of terminology that's based on how your organs in your body work together to create a symphony. So that's another way that, another image, sense of imagery that really resonates with musos. Tune up your organs. We'll do a little, I'll introduce you to a little bit to the healing sounds later on, but you can explore that much further if you're interested. Sound, of course, is produced by energy. Harmonious frequencies turn sound into music rather than just noise. If there is discord, certainly within your body, that really is signaling stagnant energy. So there are a number of clearing exercises that we do in Qigong to help purge the stagnant energy out and pour fresh energy in. As a performer, you want lots of fresh energy. You want efficient use of that energy. The emphasis in Qigong is on slow, full, deep, long breaths. That helps your whole body relax. It brings you into the moment, and it really allows you to fill up your whole body with energy, fresh energy. And I think that then puts your body in the perfect place to perform to the best you can. When you think about it, many performers make it look easy, make their performance look easy after many, many hours of work, of rehearsal, of practice, all that sort of thing. What will make it even easier for your voice is to know that your breathing capacity is very, very efficient. So, my Qigong journey. Well, as we know, last year, our world turned upside down. We went into lockdown, certainly in Victoria, in Melbourne, in March. And so thus we started remote learning. A colleague of mine actually recommended this Qigong practitioner, Lee Holden. And so I thought, look, I'm not doing my normal Pilates. My gym is actually at home with my own home equipment in the spare room. I'm not playing golf. I'm an avid golfer. And I just felt like my exercise regimen was just upended. And along came Qigong. So I got into this with interest as a matter of just trying it to see if it would, how it would go. I had done some yoga at school, and I was just absolutely amazed by the difference that it made me feel. And then when I got to singing and taking the choir rehearsals, I just felt like my voice was working at a much better level. And I thought, yes, this is great. Then I thought, if it's good for me, maybe it's good for the kids in my choir. So I have junior choirs, 3 and 4, years 5 and 6 together. I have a year 8 vocal class. I accompany a 7, 8, 9 choir, and I have a year 8 vocal class. And so, and another community choir outside school. And I thought, look, let's just incorporate the initial relaxation and breathing exercises from Qigong into the start of each choir rehearsal and year 8 vocal class as part of the warm-ups. And so the way I did this was by using these body relaxation and breathing exercises as sort of the way to transfer from whatever they've done during the day into we're in choir now, let's be in the moment. And then after these, we would go into our vocal warm-ups and then get into the repertoire. And look, the kids love them, and it's now almost sort of routine, and they feel like if we don't do them, we've missed out. So let's get into some exercises. So what I'd like you to do is to please stand and make sure that you have a good clear area to move, and maybe have a sip of drink. I'll unshare my screen and we'll get ourselves organised. So I'll just give you a moment. I'll set up some music. It won't be necessarily that clear, but so be it. We'll do the best we can. So we'll start with knocking on the door of life. Back again. So I hope you've had a drink. And I'll stop sharing. And here we go. Can you please stand with your feet just hip width apart? And we're just going to swing our arms just freely. You're breathing quite normally at this stage. Just allow your hand to just hit your body where it lands. Turn your head just naturally. Now we're going to add a punch up to just under the collarbone, and when you do that, you're actually invigorating your lungs. You're telling your lungs we're about to work hard, and it's also helping your immune system. So still keep turning your upper body. A few more. And now open the hand on top of your shoulder. This says to your mind, open up mind and be in the present moment. Open up to what we're about to do. A couple more. Back to fist just under the collarbone. And then just back to swinging your arms around and just gently hit your body with your hands. And now we'll do water waves. Can you spread your fingers, bend your knees, and just move your arms around with your hands, with your fingers splayed, and feel the air rush through your fingers. And come gently to a stop. All right. That's a great one to start with because that goes right now. I feel like I'm quite relaxed. Now what I'd like you to do is maintain that stance, so feet hip width apart. Just have little fists, and I actually do up my zip because that helps. Just if you can pummel your chest up and down either side of your sternum. Again, this is a little lung area just to wake up the lungs, going we're about to be working. And we're going to extend this out to do some body massage. So please hold out your right arm and with your hand just hit down the inside and up the outside, down the inside, up the outside, down the inside, and up the inside. That's the yin and the yang, and back to pummeling. And then we do the other side. Hold out your left arm, open palm, and down the inside, yin, up the outside, yang. Down the inside, up the outside, down the inside, up the outside, and just across, up and down again. Notice that I haven't talked about specific breathing, inhale and exhale yet. We're still just getting our body ready. And now, what I want you to do is just hit your hips here and move around to the side. And then go down the outside of your legs and up the inside, down the outside, up the inside, down the outside, up the inside. And a little bit more pummeling there. And now just relax. I hope you can feel some tingling in your hands and your body. And of course, that's a sign that the energy is coursing around your body. And that's what we want. All those endorphins are being released and your body feels relaxed. Notice we did each one 3 times. I don't know if there's an absolute reason for that, but that's generally the practice. Now, I'd like you to put your arms at 90 degrees, have very loose, soft fists, and this is spinal breathing. You saw this before with Lee seated on a chair. You can do it seated or standing. The idea is to breathe in and move your arms right around your spine to the back. Then exhale as you bring your arms forward and curve your back around. So that side on, it looks like this. Your chest comes out as your arms go around, and then you cave in as you exhale. And so long, slow, deep breaths. In we go through your nose. And can you out? In. And out. In. And out. In through your nose. And out. Last one. In. And out. And just relax. Have a little shake out. And that's always really good because you can see and feel the long phrasing that we're doing there. So it relates very well to long phrases that you would be singing or playing in music. Now, there's a fourth one that I like to do as sort of a package at the start before we go into vocal warm-ups. This is clearing. Please put your arms out like this and then just drop them. So we go on. So arms are out here. Then as we drop one arm comes in front, the other goes behind, bend knees, then straighten up. Then the other comes in front, the other goes behind, and straighten up. So the out breath is in breath, and make it quite vigorous so we can get quite fast. So let's go. out. And come to a rest and have a little shake out. Okay, I'm just going to go back to sharing my screen. And hopefully you're seeing some good benefits there. You might like to stay standing. We're back to the screen. Oh dear, it's gone back to the start. Oh no, here we are. So that was we started with knocking on the door of life, and oh dear, sorry, I'll go back. And that is basically it in a nutshell. Swing the arms gently around the body, moving head to look over each shoulder. Punch the fist on the upper chest as you turn, one after the other. And this opens the lung and immune system meridians. Then the open hand on top of each shoulder to clear and open the mind for decision making. Great one to start with. The next one we did was the body massage, which was patting down and patting up after pummeling up and down either side of the sternum, and the same sort of thing with the legs. Outside, then inside with the legs. We then did our spinal breathing, which just has this lovely opening of the chest. That's an area I think teenage kids have an issue with. So I think that's something that we have to be cognizant of and just encourage the health perspective. The fourth exercise that we did then was the clearing, arms out, and just a huge exhale. That's purging the old energy and then pouring in the new energy. Purging the old, pouring in the new. After those four, I would then go on to do vocal warm-ups. So that would include things like lip trills, and then into sirens, into vowel work, into consonant work, maybe some vocalese, into repertoire. But there are many, many other exercises as well. So let me introduce you to another little set that I find very useful as well. Tiger breathing. Qi Gong uses a lot of animal frolics. So through the centuries, of course, you know how many animals have a special symbolic meaning to the Chinese. And so when Qigong was developed, animals like deer, dragons, bears, cranes, you saw a soaring crane as an image when I was telling you about my journey thus far, tigers, monkeys, roosters, the way that they move have all been incorporated. And for kids, I guess this adds an element of fun that they can imagine being like these particular animals. So let me introduce you to tiger breathing, and that will go then into tiger clearing, and I'll do some other, another set after the tiger breathing. Then I'll come back and give you a chance if you want to jot down any notes or just have a think about those exercises again. I'll give you a little bit of time before we go on to the third set, which is the final set. All right, so I'll unshare my screen again. Here we go. So this is tiger breathing. So again, feet about hip width apart, and your arms are out in front of you with tiger claws. These are really important, the tiger claws. You're going to go down towards the floor using the strength of your legs, keeping your back straight, and you're going to exhale the whole time. And then when you get to the floor, you're going to sweep the floor with your fingertips, then your palms are facing you and you come back up. And then your palms turn and we repeat. So it's a long, slow exhale. You might exhale on the sound and. Sweep the floor with fingertips, up you come. Inhale through your nose. And. Sweep the floor. Inhale through your nose. One more. And just hold your tight claws here. I want you to cross them over. And this is always the kids' favourite one. What we do is we finish with a big tiger pose that goes hop. So get ready to do your big hop. So again, you're filled up with air and hop. It looks fantastic on the screen as well. And that's been the wonderful thing with online rehearsals, that we see our, our gallery of people doing these wonderful things together. My only concern with the tiger ha is how we use that sound, how we actually produce that sound. So it's got to be on a full breath and not to not shout it out. So it's got to be strong, but just be very careful about how the kids actually make that ha. It's got to be supported, good support. So that's another good starting breathing exercise. Then we'll go into something like body bouncing. We did massage in the first set of exercises. Body bouncing is another exercise that you can use to really get the qi flowing around your body. So you can just leave your feet planted on the floor and you just bounce your body so that everything is really relaxed. So you should not feel any sort of tension anywhere in your body. So your knees are bent slightly, your neck, your head is just free, your arms, your hands, your shoulders are all just moving, and you just let your body go. And of course, kids love doing this as well, but it's actually very good for you. Another thing you can do with this is you can actually bounce the heels onto the floor, which is a help for bone strength. So you can get the vibration through the bones. So you might just like to try that where you are, as long as you don't create another earthquake like we felt last week. So just keep that going for a little bit longer and bring that to a finish. Just stand and enjoy that sensation of the tingling through your hands and your body. You might even like to just place your hands like this and start to feel a magnetic force between your fingers. It's phenomenal what this does to the feeling of your body. But there is a magnetic force. I can feel it. I hope you can. And just, they call this in Qi Gong a Qi ball. So you can actually play with the Qi ball quite a lot and just feel how strong that force is. So now let's go into opening up the heavens. So we start in a prayer position. So again, feet are about hip width apart. And this really helps to open up the lungs. So as we press our arms out and open our chest out, we breathe in and then breathing out. And you cave in like you did before with the spinal breathing. Breathing in and letting it go. Breathing in through your nose and exhale. And exhale. Find to exhale through your mouth or your nose. Through your mouth gets rid of a lot more. Last one. And when you come back, it's almost like your tailbone is a little bit under and you've caved in, and now you can just stand and feel like you just expanded your lungs no end. The next one goes to expanding your intercostals and your rib cage. So we're going to hold up the earth. So hands down at your belly button, and you breathe in as you bring your hands up. Then turn your palms to face the sky. Sorry, you can't see that. Face the sky, face the ceiling. And then a big circle as you breathe out. And come back, palms up. Again, big deep breath in. And a slow rainbow arc down as you exhale. You might like to exhale on a shh sound, shh. But with the way that you produce that shh, it should be very relaxed. Shh. So almost like a chubby puppy exercise, no muscles making a shh sound, just shh, that idea. So let's try that. Holding up the earth, breathing in. And down we go. Knees are a little bent. This time, we're going to hold up our right hand, bring down our left, and we're going to lean across to the left side. So you're feeling that lovely stretch up your right side. Breathe into that. Long, slow, deep breaths. And then release, and the backs of your hands come together as you change over. So your left goes up, your right comes down, and lean over. Feel now your left side stretching beautifully, all the intercostals. Breathe deeply into that. And now come out. And both arms up. One taller than the other. We're going to pick cherries. You might know this exercise from elsewhere. So again, it's an extension of stretching the intercostal muscles and expanding that whole mechanics of breathing area. Just gently and slowly. And now come down. Right, so you should feel a sense of further expansion in your body. There's one more or two more that I'd like to do in this before we then come to a close. And this is called pumping. So arms are up and you bring them down as you bend your knees and then straighten your knees as your arms come over your back. Then again, you rewind and you do that. So it's a long exhale and in on the way up. Exhale, in, exhale, in. And now we can go much faster and just relax. So while many of the exercises are slow, the clearing and pumping can really be invigorating the faster you go with it. There's one more. Can you please put your feet quite well apart, so wider than shoulder width? And I want you just to stick your bum out, put your hands on your knees and move your hips across to the right and your head then follows. Your hips move first, then your head. This is moving like a river. So this is strengthening your legs and it's relaxing your body, and it's after all of that stretching that you've just done, it really feels good. And it brings in that idea of flow, flow, feeling of flow. Just slowly and slowly. And back to the center. Put your arms down. Just let everything relax. Hands crossed. Roll your body up. And do a full body roll forward. Bend your knees, come up. And a full body roll again down as you exhale. And up. And last one. And just come up to standing. Bring feet in. And I'll go back to unsharing the screen just to give you a little bit of a chance to catch breath. And, to share my screen. What am I talking about? Just to give you a chance, to catch breath and think about what we've just done. So that one, we started with tiger breathing, and that gives you a little bit of a nutshell of what we did. The tiger claws, keeping your back straight. A lot of kids I see tend to hunch over rather than keep their back straight. So it's a good strengthening for the legs as well. Sweep the floor with your fingertips. Inhale as you come up. Exhaling on the healing sound of s or sh. Careful that you're not doing it forced or sh. That's tense, but just make it natural. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that yet. Then, of course, the finish on the up is a fun one for the kids to do with the tiger claws. We also did body bouncing to get the qi flowing through our bodies. We did opening up the heavens, so opening the chest out and really starting to feel that expansion. We did holding up the earth. Again, long phrasing really helps. It helps with the long phrasing to feel that sense of long phrase there. We picked our cherries, and that was really helping to stretch and expand those intercostals through our rib cage. We did body pumping, so arms right up, and really got the breath going through our body quite fast. So that was a much more vital exercise, a revitalizing exercise. And then we just relaxed our body with moving like a river, leading with the hips, head following. So that was a much wider stance, bottom out, and just going with the hips. So again, that's a nice sequence and set of exercises to then take you into some vocal work. That's a longer one, and you might go, yeah, well, I've only got half an hour or 45 minutes. That's not going to work. No, it's not necessarily in a 45-minute rehearsal. But think about music camps, choir camps. If you have a full day rehearsal, you're doing a musical, you might really want to get the kids or your adults or whomever you're working with, you might really want to put their bodies into the moment. And so, any number of those exercises would be great. I just have a couple more that I'd like to finish up with as finishing ones. So this Moon on the Pond is a beautiful flow exercise, and this will take us to the end. So if you wouldn't mind standing up again, and I'll just take you through these couple to bring us to a finish. So I'll stop sharing and we'll get there. So Moon on the Pond, your stance again is feet hip width apart. And your arms are out in front, palms down, facing the earth or the water. And you're simply going to move your hips and arms across to the right. Then your hands lift up and over to make an arc to the other side. And then you come down across the top of the pond, moon on the pond. So the mist rises, comes up and over the moon, and you come down. So you're breathing in, start your exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and then we'll go to the other side. Inhale more and exhale. Okay, moving hands to the left and up we go. Exhale and inhale, exhale. Just feel the lovely long phrasing here. And just come back to the middle. All right. Last two. So one hand on top of the other. Good to start with whichever side. So feet hip width apart. This is a centering exercise where breathing in and you bring your arm down your midline. This is centering. Then you change. So your left, bring around as you inhale, then come down through your midline, your center. Lovely long breath. Exhale. In. Exhale. Knees are slightly bent. In. last one. And then bring your feet close together, 2 hands over your belly button, and just allow your body to move. We call this bamboo in the wind. Just letting your body, thinking about all that extra energy that you just created in your body, just letting your body move like bamboo in the wind. Backwards, forwards, side to side, wherever it wants to go. For as long as you'd like to. And you might like to take a seat now. I'll go back to sharing my screen. Oh. And just, oh, no, that's not right. We'll stop sharing that one. I'll go into sharing the other one correctly. Sorry. Here we go. And, oh, sorry, that was the one where we bent our knees slightly, holding the arms out in front. You go across again, really great for phrasing, and so on. All that is left for me to say is relax. Thank you for listening and joining in today, and I hope you find this useful and beneficial for your students. And if not for your students, for you personally. I think it really helps me as a musician deliver my voice, my breathing, my whole sense of being in the moment. And there it is, bamboo in the wind. But the wind is very still at the moment. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I'll stop sharing now and I'll hand over to Jenny.
Okay. And I think I'm unmuted, yes. So thank you so much, Lyn. I know that there were only maybe 3 of us that were sort of moving on the screen, but I'm optimistic that everybody else was also moving. Could you maybe do like a little thumbs up if you were moving behind your image? Or yes, quite a few thumbs going up. That's really fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I must say I do feel energized as a result of having done that exercise. It reminded me so much of, or the exercises, it reminded me quite a lot of various yoga things that I've been to, because I know breathing is a really important part of the whole yoga practice as well. But so Qi Gong, is that the correct pronunciation?
Correct, Jenny, yes.
Yeah. And I guess probably there may be some people who've got some questions that they might like to ask. I think it might be just expedient if you would like to, if you do have a question, maybe put your hand up and then unmute yourself, and so we don't get too carried away. We've got probably about 2 minutes for any questions, and I think there's maybe a few things in the chat here. So,
thanks, Bron, for doing it with your daughter. That's fantastic. I hope your daughter enjoyed it too.
Oh, really? That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And can I just ask a question myself?
Of course.
So at the beginning of a rehearsal, so how much time would you spend doing this? So I'm assuming it would be a relatively short period,
Yes,
but it's something that you build up over time and it becomes
Yes.
part of the normal practice to enhance good breathing and hence good singing.
That's right. So in a 45-minute rehearsal, I'd probably do 10 to 15 minutes, just depending on how the kids are going as well and just what else we have to get through in the rehearsal. But I think you're going to get much better quality of work out of the kids,
Yes.
out of your choristers, if they're in a good place. You know, if they feel nourished, if you've got that lovely sense of we're in the moment, we're here. And I know that I myself have struggled with, we've got to get through this, come on, work faster, work harder, da-da-da. But this really helps to just relax everybody, stop and think about what we're going to do. And I think you'll get a better quality of sound, of cohesiveness. people will generally feel better about themselves as well. So 10 minutes in a 45-minute session, then, you know, I'd probably do 10 minutes of vocal warming up, that sort of thing, which doesn't sound like, which sounds like, I mean, that's half the rehearsal. You've only got 25 minutes left to do any repertoire work. But I think the benefits of that really infuse into the quality of work in the repertoire. As I said, you know, if you're at a music camp, a choir camp, then, you know, you might do a different 10 minutes in each session. I know when we go away with the school, we have 50-minute sessions, 55-minute sessions. So I'd be, you know, certainly doing 10 minutes at the start of each choir so that they're not overtaxing their voices as well. So, you know, if you're doing musical rehearsals over the weekends, you know, this is a wonderful way to just manage voices, but still be doing very effective work for the end product, I think. If you're doing an hour and a half rehearsal, you know, you might consider doing, you know, 8 minutes at the start, 8 minutes at some point during, just to give a break from actually using the voices.
And do the children take it like seriously, or they sort of build up, they get to know what it all means and understand what it's about? Yep.
They do. They really do. Even the little ones, they love it, because I mean, I do lots of different antics with vocal exercises too, so they're sort of used to my quirky stuff that I do, but they really do. And it is slow, and you know that kids love doing things fast because they think faster is better.
Yes.
But here, the strength is in the slowness of things. You are actually showing you're stronger by being able to do things slower.
Yeah. Okay. Did anyone have a question? I can't see any hands up or whatever. And there's some nice feedback there for you, Lyn, on the chat there.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for your presentation today. And I hope everybody enjoyed it and learnt something. And I'm sure it's something we can all put into practice in one form or the other. And I love my golf too. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.